Shoot. Okay. All right. I guess I will do this sitting down. I am all about being flexible. I thought I had the right camera plugged in, and I didn't have the right camera plugged in. All right. So, hi everybody. It is what is it? It's Friday at noon. And what was it that Jimmy Fallon said? Day 876 of the lockdown. Which is what it's kind of feeling like. But I got you. I got you. And we are here for our noon coaching. And I want to bring you something that I figured out today while I was doing my own self-coaching. So I get on my exercise bike in the morning and I I sit with my handy dandy journal. I love this journal, right? And with said handy dandy journal, I was sitting and I was thinking this morning, and I was thinking about intense emotions. One of the reasons I was thinking about intense emotions is because I'm the parent to a middle schooler and to some kind of like, I guess, upper elementary schoolers, and this is the time when intense emotion really gets the better of them. And like, we're all spending a lot of time together, okay? And I am working to create the capacity to have time with my family, because I'm not gonna lie, my business is doing really well right now because coaching is counter-cyclical. When things are going badly, people are like, wow, I really need somebody to help. And I've been out there helping people for so long that my clients are really excited to call me and talk to me. Okay. But that means that just as my kids are home, I like have less time to spend with them. So I'm not kidding. I have like scheduled spend time with family in chunks in my calendar. And tomorrow on Saturday, spend time with family. Spend time with my own brain in the morning. Coach at noon. Spend time with family. There's a bucket of popcorn with my name on it. So I was, people are very, very visual. I'm not a particularly visual person, and but one of the things that I find very helpful is when I draw diagrams. So I guess I am visual, but in that way, drawing diagrams and understanding a whole variety of things. So all of the coaching tools that I have given you so far, thought downloads, that water model that I did, and asking questions. I actually have 3 sets of those. They're called Water and Strive and Light. And there are 3 sets of coaching, of powerful coaching questions to help us understand how to create the results that we want. I kind of think like right now in these live sessions that I'm doing, I think getting people to change results in their life is probably less important, okay? I am very big on knowing where you stand and stand there. I'm sure I have quoted Daniel Berrigan. And welcome everybody who's tuning in live. Thank you so much. I'm glad you find these helpful. Like hundreds of people have been talking to me and saying these are helpful. So share these lives with people who you think would benefit from them, because I'm really here to serve you. And so anyway, so as I was saying, I think right now, being with ourselves with presence, acceptance, and sufficiency. Okay, so presence is, a lot of what we've talked about emotions this week. What am I actually feeling? Like, how did I describe my emotions yesterday? Yeah, what color are they? Where are they in my body? Are they hard? Are they soft? Do they have sharp edges? Are they, like all of that sort of stuff. So we have that. Okay. And then accepting those emotions. I give myself permission to feel all the things that I'm feeling. Okay, I give myself permission, and I had that. I actually put the list that my son developed up on my wall to remember that I give myself permission to feel all these things that I am feeling. I gave myself permission to feel delighted this morning. All right, and I think right now it's a real privilege to feel delighted, because for so long it's been my privilege actually to work with local food people and local businesses, and um, we are humans having a human experience. And what does it feel like to find delight in your day? Yeah? And accept that you have mixed emotions about a lot of things. And we can feel delight right now, and we can feel fear because we're human beings having a human experience, okay? And then, so we have presence, we have acceptance, and we have sufficiency, okay? And sufficiency looks like repeating a hell of a lot. I am enough. I am enough. Okay, I have everything I need right now to do the things that I need to do. And I know that feels very hard to a lot of people. We wouldn't be having runs on toilet paper right now if I am enough was the prevailing zeitgeist, okay, was the prevailing thought that people had. But imagine if you could just try on for a minute and see how good it feels that you are enough right now, that everything that you've been doing in the course of your life has brought you to this point where you can lead your people, you can be there with your family, you can be there for your parents, for your kids, for your community, however it is that you fit in, and that you are enough right now to do the work that you are being called to do. Because I promise you are enough. And if you don't believe that and you're not trained to believe it, I want to ask you the following question. So this, I'm going to do a Strive model, and then I'm going to go through one of the tool I just created this morning to help you understand some emotional safety things. Okay, so now most of you know I work in food and cannabis manufacturing facilities. These are literally places that can be unsafe, like physically unsafe. So I've developed this Strive model that I work with people with, okay? And the very first question when we're trying to solve a problem, all right, and I'm going to define what we're trying to figure out is the thought, I am enough, okay? Try this on yourself, all right, and then try thinking, my spouse is enough, okay? But marriage coaching could be an entirely different coaching call, okay? My employer is enough. My employee is enough. For the liberals in the audience, why don't you try on for size, Donald Trump is enough. That would be an interesting thought exercise, right? So here's what I'm saying. Let me take you through this set of questions, all right, based on the idea of trying out the thought, I am enough. So my first question for you is are you physically safe? The first S question in Strive is, are you physically safe to think the thought, I am enough? Okay, most of you probably are, okay? The next question is, are you financially safe to think, I am enough, okay? And if your guts clench right there, the answer is no, okay? Nothing good or bad is happening. We're just gathering information, okay, so that we can understand where we are right now. Presence and acceptance, and we're accepting our sufficiency. But we might not accept that right now. If you haven't gone through your life thinking that you're enough, you're not going to go from I'm worthless to I am enough any more than I went in my weight loss journey from I hate my body to I love my body. Folks, I've 85 pounds and kept it off over 2 years. I'm not at the point where I love my body. I'm at the point where I have a body. And frankly, let me tell you, given the average woman has dieted for 32 years, going from I hate my body to I have a body, miraculous. It is absolutely miraculous, okay? So you're not going to go from I'm worthless to I am enough in like one hop. So don't set that up as a goal, okay? Why don't we go from I'm worthless or I'm not enough to I see the possibility that I could be enough, that I could think this, something like that, all right? That's all we're trying to do, okay? So my question for you is, are you financially safe to think the thought, I am enough? And the answer may be no. There are a lot of you who think that if I feel financially safe, I'm never going to motivate myself to do anything again. Okay? Just notice that thought. The next question is are you emotionally safe to think I am enough? And for many of you, the answer is also no. You are not emotionally safe to think I am enough. And how do I know this? Is because this is my journey right now. This is my journey right now. I have not thought I was emotionally safe to think I am enough, because if I think I am enough, how the hell am I going to go out there and do anything? The floggings will continue until morale improves. But the truth is that the creation of psychological safety in a average like $1 million business with a couple of employees, creating psychological safety around being financially stable, like feeling stable emotionally and financially, will increase your profit by 50%. Okay, that's the like positive psychology research that came out of that comes out of the University of Pennsylvania. Is kind of the home of positive psychology, and that's where this comes from. Okay. So, are you emotionally safe to think that you are enough? Are you trained to think that you are enough? You probably aren't. That's what this is for. Okay? That's the T in strive. The R in strive is respect. Do you respect yourself to think that I am enough? And you may not. Some of us, our self-respect is in the toilet. Okay? I don't want you to judge yourself for that. I just want you to create presence with the feeling that that question brought up for you, and acceptance of that feeling. I give myself permission to feel all the things that I feel when I ask myself that question. Okay? The I, so that's R. So the I in strive stands for invested. Have you invested the time, talent, and treasure in that order to feel like you are enough, to think the thought, I am enough? And you may not have, but guess what? I am enough is a learned and learnable skill. And how do I know this? Because you know what I tell my kids every day? To like, my 8-year-old rolls her eyes at me, but like my 12-year-old has gotten over it. I tell you, I love you for who you are and for how the universe made you, and I love you no matter what. And you are enough. Okay? When I wake up in the middle of the night, I tell myself that. I tell my husband that. Okay? Imagine if you could tell yourself those sentences and invest the time and talent to teach yourself that you are enough. Just think about what that would look like in your life. All right? It's beautiful. I promise it's beautiful. The V in strive stands for value. Do you value thinking that you are enough? There are people who don't value thinking that they are enough. They are people who probably live in a lot of productive negative emotion and are very, very in love with productive negative emotion and really don't want to put it down. Okay, people are people. People get to make all the decisions that they want. They don't have to go around thinking that they are enough. They really, really don't. All right. So then the next question is, the E in strive stands for empowered. Are you empowered to stand in fear, discomfort, and failure to think that you are enough? That sounds like a really weird question, doesn't it? But I promise you, if you decide to adopt that I am enough, you're going to show up in situations and you're going to be like, wait a minute, I feel like I'm enough here. People are going to judge me. Are they going to think I'm ugly? Are they going to think that I'm like too big for my britches? Ask me what I've written down in my journal. Might sound like that, right? When we show up, especially as women, okay, or especially as people who are historically looked down upon in society, when we show up as if we are enough, people can react badly to it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a walking example of people reacting badly to me thinking that thought about myself. But you know what? They get to people, and that's them. That is not me. That is a reflection of their thoughts about enoughness and sufficiency, not my thoughts about enough and sufficiency, right? And so, are you empowered to stand in fear and discomfort and failure? You will fail to think that you are enough. I promise you, at about 8 o'clock every single solitary night, I don't think I'm enough. I know I'll get over it. I get over everything, okay? But understanding that you're going to fail at learning this because things take time. You have thought I'm worthless for a really long time, and I promise you're not going to go from I'm worthless to I'm enough in like 2 minutes. So you would be the outlier, and I hope that you do. And if you figure that out, come and coach us. All right? The best coaches have coaches, and I would love to hear that, right? So that's the Strive model, and I use that for problem solving in every aspect of my life. I ask myself that around myself, my products, my clients. I help my clients ask those questions when we're problem solving in their facilities, okay? And so I do this I do this with my kids. I don't do it with my mother because we never coach our mothers. And so, but it's a really powerful set of questions that you can ask yourself. All right, when you go through and you ask yourself those questions, you are going to find probably intense emotion. Those questions are designed to elicit intense emotion because I really believe that the greatest breakthroughs available to us are when we are standing in fear and discomfort and failure. Those, my friends, are intense emotions, okay? And so what I wanted to do is talk about how I deal with intense emotion and what my journey with dealing with intense emotion has looked like, okay? And so what I figured out this morning is that I think that, let me see that this shows up well, but I think we got 3 layers of emotion, okay? And in the middle of this, okay, right, is the super intense primitive emotions that we have. Fear, vulnerability, shame, hurt, okay, when we really hurt, all right? So we have really intense emotions here, okay? Then, and this looks a little bit like a feelings wheel, but I think of it differently than a feelings wheel. So a feelings wheel like names all of the emotions, but they don't occur to me to be working this way. Okay. And then we have sort of medium emotions like frustration. When we're thinking, this doesn't have to be all negative emotions, like joy would be in here, and a more medium emotion would be, I don't know, delight. I've been, like I said, been doing delight. Okay, and then here we have sort of the more mild emotions, all right? Very, very intense, less intense, even more less intense out here, okay? And that's kind of how I started thinking about them, all right? But then those emotions, they're all driven by our brain. So we have things that are going on, we have thoughts about those things, and those thoughts create feelings, and those feelings create sensations, and the intenseness is basically that interaction of the feeling in our brain and the sensation in our body, okay? And so I came up with this scale, all right? And I love me a scale. Like, I have a scale on food and food density and energy that I used, like, when I was losing weight, okay? And if you want, just let me know, and I can do all day, like, one of these whole things, overeating, a whole other one on over drinking, because it kind of leads into this sort of stuff, okay? And we have reactions and actions. We have reactions and actions here, okay? And how we deal with these reactions and actions depends, all right? I'm going to try and draw a brain here, all right? An artist I am not. But we have our prefrontal cortex over here, All right, and then we have our primitive brain going down into our brainstem right here. Okay, wow, I've like kind of drawn a rat brain here, but like whatever. Pretend this is a human brain. All right, and we have our very crenulated, it's called prefrontal cortex right here. But back here in the depths of our brain, all right, is our more primitive structures like our amygdala and our hypothalamus. All right, and I drew it facing that way for a reason. So when we are in our prefrontal crenulated cortex right here, okay, we are we're on this side, all right, and we are controlling our thoughts using our prefrontal cortex, all right, and our prefrontal cortex is able to take information coming from the back of our brain to the front of our brain and say, "Thank you, I hear you, I gotcha. I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with that information." Okay, so that's controlling our lives through our prefrontal cortex. Okay, then back here we would be controlled by our amygdala, all right, which is the emotional center of our brain. So for those of you who have twee boppers or quarantines or whatever it is that we're calling them, and teenagers, at the onset of like puberty, okay, and when they start kind of becoming middle schoolers, it's this part of their brain that grows the fastest. This part of their brain doesn't exist. Okay, they have a prefrontal cortex, which is not nearly as developed as ours is, and it develops until they're about 25. Okay, so this stops developing when you're about 25. All right, and so over here, when you're being completely governed by your and by more primitive brain processes, your reactions and actions are in the realm of physical violence. You are so unable to exert the control our prefrontal cortex gives us on your brain that you are literally lashing out. Okay? Over here, you are able to exhibit almost perfect control. Okay? Now, my guess is most of us live here on scale. Hopefully we don't spend a whole lot of time here on this scale. But when, like when people get violent when they drink, it's because they're like cutting that part of their brain off. Okay? And so a lot of us, all right, when we're in reaction mode, and say we have like a zero right here, when we're sometimes using our prefrontal cortex and sometimes really reacting, okay, hopefully not getting physically violent, but like really in resistance of intense emotions and much more acceptance of intense emotions here, we act differently, okay? And the further that you are up here towards your prefrontal cortex, the more you're going to be able to act in a way that creates the results in your life that you want. And the more you're going to be able to tolerate all of these emotions, all right, over here, what we're doing is we're resisting all of these emotions, all right? And there are actions and inactions and things that we do in that tolerating or that resisting. But it's really hard to figure that out if we don't know whether we're tolerating or resisting it. And so as you go into like your weekend, maybe just spend some time noticing where you might be on this scale. Are you over here where you're saying, oh, okay, I see you, intense emotions or any emotions at all, or are you over here just kind of reacting and even enjoy like jumping up and down and getting super super excited because we're really really excited. I'm on a phone with a client and I'm super excited about the ability to work. I'm not over here, I'm actually over here. And what are my people hiring me for? Because I can do this, right? But you can do this too. And the reason I know how to like pull myself out of that is because I've had practice. Okay, sure, I just came up with this morning, but I think I've like looked at it. I've been looking at it all day, and like, wow, this gives me a really useful tool to understand kind of where I am here in being in control of my own self and dealing with my really intense emotions. Okay. And maybe pulling uncovering the journey to these intense emotions, because we all have intense emotions, whether we recognize it or not. I mean, a lot of us have spent our entire lives shielding our brains from our intense emotions because we needed to. It's a survival mechanism as we're kids. Okay? And but it stops working when you're an adult, okay? And if you're home with your kids right now and you find yourself eating through the day, even if it's like something super healthy, it's probably because you're masking intense emotions. We all know we emotionally eat sometimes. We emotionally drink. We emotionally consume cannabis. We do a lot of things out of reaction to emotion, right? Presence, acceptance, and sufficiency. What if you were enough right now to take a deep breath, okay? Say, I think I can see this in my life, and even just practice it for 5 minutes today. Just 5 minutes. You practice all the stuff that I'm talking about on these coaching calls for the next 30 days for 5 minutes a day. You will have spent 150 minutes on your brain, and your life will be different. You will feel better. I promise. I absolutely promise. Alrighty? And I promise that the life that you want to lead is on the other side of feeling better. Okay? So that's what I have for you in coaching today. You are all amazing, beautiful people. I will be here over the weekend. All of these are going up on the YouTube channel. If you are a food producer and you want to join us over in the proofing box, I am simulcasting them, I guess, over on the proofing box, and I will be here same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. You are amazing people. Have a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.